Okay, so today's been a lot calmer with the bullies, but except for on TikTok, I have seen so many people. It's like everybody's being bullied, everybody is being attacked, and it's just chaotic. I mean, like that woman who was getting mad at me over the uh, boat thing. Like, I'm not sure what she wanted, like, from me. She wanted me to not talk about the boat bridge thing, and that I was spreading fear and people just can't handle it. It's like everything that she was asking me was against everything of my whole self. I was like, no, I'm not going to change because it makes you more comfortable. But anyway, she got so mad because after I had did that recording, and I went back on TikTok, I saw that she had sent me another video to let me know that this other girl agrees with her. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, I guess you're right then. And then it was, she told me that uh, she supported me. She was there for me and had done nothing but support me. And then I turn on her like this, and I'm just so egotistical that she wants nothing to do with me. Have a good life. I was like, oh my gosh, what in the world gets people to think that, like, I have had this happen so much. Like, I'll talk about certain things and they'll be interesting to somebody who, like, all different people. And then if, like, they're religious and I'm not religious, they get mad. If they're loving light and I'm not loving light, they get mad. It's like all these things. It's like, no, I'm separate. I'm a separate person. Yeah, we've got this thing in common right here, but I'm not changing into somebody else. Like, I can't believe how much people want people to change so that they can be comfortable. It's like ludicrous. It's wild. And that it just seems like it's something, that people have got to heal. People have got to be able to be independent and be able to who cares if I don't know. But I am seeing all these people today arguing and arguing over my whole For You page, though, thing is so weird today. I keep seeing hair things. All these people with really long hair cutting all their hair off. Like girls with their hair down to their waist and their butt. One of the girls went and shaved her head and had a buzz cut. Like, they're all cutting their hair off. I'm not even sure what the hell that's all about. And this one girl, though, I couldn't believe, because she went in and her hair was like, down to here or something, down to like her bra strap. And she was getting it cut shorter. And she took in a picture. Like, I have seen oh my God, it is one hair disaster after another. People showing what they took in, like what their hair was like, what they took in for the picture reference, and what they came out looking like. Oh my God, I don't know that all these people, like, I don't see how some of them pass boards. But so this lady, she went in and paid for this $125 haircut, even tipped the lady, and then went out to her car to complain about the haircut, how much she hated it, wasn't what she wanted, and that she called herself out on her inability to be able to tell the lady and say what she wanted. And she made excuses. Well, somebody else was there. Well, this, and I don't want to hurt her feelings and all that stuff. But then go out in the car and complain about it, and then call and make another appointment an hour later and went to another person and paid the same amount because she wouldn't ask the girl who she already paid. And so then she came out and she liked her hair after that. But I thought the other haircut was fine, but it wasn't what the girl wanted. She wanted it way shorter. It was like, it seemed like it would have been simple just to tell her to cut it shorter. Like, it wasn't being short enough. But anyways, that's the part of being vulnerable. That's a part of where you need to stand up. See how she's doing like a disservice to the lady. The lady would have wanted probably to fix her hair the way she would have wanted it to be satisfied. The lady probably is under the assumption that she did do what she wanted because she got a tip. And the woman didn't complain. That's not being real. It's not being authentic. And then it's being shady and going outside and being backstabby. And that is like something that people have got to notice in themselves, because they're so insecure to be able to be vulnerable and stand up and say and have their own boundaries, that they turns themselves into like this shady kind of backstabby, go out and and she didn't even give a woman a chance to fix it, to, atone herself or whatever. So anyways, but people, that's what I'm saying is we've just got such a toxic way that we have adapted into how we interact, because most people would be like, oh, well, I wouldn't either. Oh, hell no, I wouldn't. They wouldn't say. They just leave the place and then be upset. So anyways, that is something where people have got to start seeing the other side, seeing it from the other person's point of view. I'm not even giving them a chance to fix it or redeem themselves. And some people, are, but I'm just talking about in this instance. And this is just something that people have just got to notice for themselves, because I think this is very common. I don't think that this is some strange thing that this girl did. I think so many people do the same thing. But that's where you got to start looking at it and being like, fuck, that's kind of shitty, really. I should have said something, at least given the woman a chance. And then if it was, there's so many people coming out with disaster haircuts. Like, oh my God, I feel bad for some of them. It is like this big purge happening out of, and I'm not really sure. I had this epiphany that was really, it was really atrocious. As I saw this video this morning, and it was this woman, and she, caught my attention because she, put on this bald cap, and then she got this wig, and there's this talking, but she's putting on this wig and showing it and fixing it. It's all about like what color, how to figure out like what tone and color you should get your hair, and to make sure you get one that matches your skin so it looks good and stuff. And while she was doing all this, like my mind's always somewhere else. Like there's always like I'll see something, but then I get like a whole movie inside my head. And I was like, oh man, with all the stuff I've seen about the shady stuff that they do to get hair, it's so fucking shady. It is a shady fucking industry. And so I was, it just came into my head of there's no fucking way that the mortuary, when they're going to go in there and burn somebody up, they're not going to burn that fucking hair up. That'd be like burning up money to them. And and especially when you think about like in some places, because they get this hair from other places. They don't get it all from here. It's not just all people donating their hair. And I think a lot of people think like, oh, well, it's just nice people who grow all their hair out and then go donate it. And no, the people who do have really long hair, and then like there's a whole practice like in India or something, and the women grow out their hair. It's super sacred, and then they cut it off, and it's an offering to their god. And they're taking those ladies' hair that are giving their hair to God, and they're taking their hair and going and selling it. That is so, oh my God, to me, that is like such bad karma. Like there's so much shady shit here. And then there's a whole group that they go in and they dig it out of drains, like out of the sewage and drains. They get all the hair and then they clean it and they do all this processing to put it together. So a lot of hair is like drain hair. It's stolen hair. There's places where, yeah, like the same place, the same thing as like the harvest situation where people just get kidnapped, which, by the way, they're finding a whole bunch of bodies in the river, like just digging them out and digging them out, like there's body after body. But the same thing with the harvest situation in the hair. They're not going to waste certain things. And, um, and there was a whole thing too of even trying to get more of an investigation for Riley. They want to close it down. And there's this woman I just started following, and she had something like that happen in Washington State. Her son was going to a concert at the Gorge, and there was some guys broke down. So he picked him up and gave him a ride. They hijacked his car and killed him and left him out in the, it's not like the desert, but it's like a very rural, mountainy, I don't even know how to explain it. When you're driving across Washington, when you get out of the mountain part, it is like you're still, I don't know, you'd have to go on a road trip and see. I'm sure it's like some other states somewhere, but anyways, he was out there dead, decaying for years, and nobody found him. They finally found him. Oh, no, when did they find him? I don't know. I don't know if I think it was 18 months or something, and they found him, and he was all ready to decay. But I don't know why I keep thinking it was like 4 years. But she did a video because she took her dog out to where his remains had decayed, and the dog was just, it's really sad as they go out and take flowers and stuff, and the dog is sniffing and laying there and trying to process because he can smell his person. Oh, it made me sad. But anyways, she's trying to get attention on her case because the two people who are informants. So they got to get off. And that is, like, if you remember me talking about this was something I talked about a few years ago in Spokane. And it was somebody who my daughter knew. And it was like somebody she worked with. I think their daughter got murdered. And then it was like, and it's the same thing. It was by an informant, murdered the daughter, so the informant got off. Then he murdered someone else my daughter knew and got off. Then it was somebody else. It was like this guy is just murdering all these people and just keeps getting off. And that's in Washington State too. And so this lady was talking about that the people who got hers son are informants, and they are just letting them off. They're just like, no, they're gonna. I know that that's going on in other places. It's not just here, but that is kind of wacky bullshit. Like, this is the judicial that's here to protect us. No, it's here to protect the criminals. The criminals set it up. It's here to protect the criminals and then put pressure on us and make us feel like we're doing something wrong. And it's a system. And then besides the fact, why do we even need these motherfucking rules? The rules are just there to protect them, to trick us. It's absurd. I'm so glad when everybody wakes up. It's so fucking absurd, the shit that we allow ourselves to go through. And let me think, because there was... This is the second time I've done this, so I'm trying to go back over what I had talked about earlier too. Yeah, there was way too many disruptions. I was interrupted so many times. I got so frustrated. I was like, okay, let's just go outside. And so, and then last night, I stayed up and did this. I went to bed like at 9 or something, and 3 o'clock in the morning, here we go. I was like, oh my God, 3 o'clock in the morning comes a lot earlier. When it's a little better when you go to bed at 7 and then it's 3 o'clock in the morning. When you go to 9, 3 o'clock in the morning, it's like, damn, I need those extra sleep. But, some of the days, though, it is she gets up at 10:30, then 11:30, then 12. Like, every night's got its own deal. But it's very intense. There's something weird, like, I'm sure everybody's got to be feeling it. Like, it's fucking intense right now. And the sounds, and I don't even understand how people cannot understand about this firmament thing. Like, Jesus Christ. The sound of airplanes going over us is so fucking loud. It sounds like thunder constantly. It is so loud. I can't believe more neighbors aren't coming out and being like, man, so loud. But it's like everybody's voice is loud. The cars driving down, like, it is weird. Like, I thought things were loud before, but it's like somebody just turned the volume up and everything's super intense and they're over there laughing and they're there. And it's like, oh my God, this is so weird. And then a high pitched frequency like goes stab in, and Stella look over at me and I was like, let's just go in. I'm like, fuck, this is so fucking weird. And, and then always at my place, I always feel like, I swear to God, I feel like when I walk into my yard, I'm walking into like a movie set or something. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's so weird. I feel like such a separation in our realities are occurring. And I don't know how to explain. Like, this is just something like, we gotta just like watch how it goes, you know. We got so many people talking about speculation and, well, you're never gonna see the people who you don't vibe with anymore and stuff. But I feel like that there's a whole thing about a certain group is like this was something that Donald said a bunch of times. Is he said you got to show them. People have to see to believe. You have to show them so that they can see. And that's what this whole awakening is. This is why this whole thing is playing out the way it is. But I was that to me, like, I was talking to somebody this morning, and I was talking about, because one of the comments was something about you know, how good mineral, like, people don't seem to understand, like, that this isn't about your hair color. This is draining the minerals from you, like, whatever they were saying. I was like, yeah, that people don't get it. They don't understand at all. And it just, like, goes right over their head. But I think that it seems like there's a group of us who gets it, and that we are, like, going to lead the way because we get it. And so that is the seeing is believing, because you try and tell them and it's like nobody can get it, nobody can understand it, you know, it just sounds like a fluke, you're doing something else. But the people who get it, then it's like they totally get it. It's like, okay, I think that there's like one group leading another group, and there's probably a bunch of different groups, and everybody's leading all different things. But there's definitely that concept to me of seeing is believing. Is they're going to see this start happening with a bunch of people. Lots of people are going to all of a sudden be like going younger, and their hair is turning back. All their signs of aging are going away. Their health is improving. They're going to start seeing all this stuff, and they're going to be like, well, I want on that bus. Like, what are they doing? And so there will be like a movement. So I can see it going that direction. But yeah, it still is at the part where people are so argumentative. People are so confused. The world is like falling apart and people are confused. And then a lot of people are scared, because I think Revelations, I swear to God, is just meant to scare people. And so many people are focused on that and the end and the end times and stuff like that. And it's like, no, this is just the beginning. This is when things are going to get good. But there's going to be a lot of people are going to leave, you know. And but you got to think about like all of these people who are super low vibration, the people who are here doing crimes and stuff. Like, when things flip the other direction, there will be no need for those people. There's no reason for them to be here anymore unless they're here to heal. But if they're here just to play the part, to be chaos and bring the dark so that the light has something to shine on, and then it's like their time's up. That energy does not go forward. That energy is not something that we have to keep battling. And I think so many of these people are already, there's already like justice. Like, there are so many of, like, even LeBron James. Look at the guy who is being out there calling himself LeBron now and compare him to what he used to look like. All the people, Diddy, Kanye, everybody who keeps being out, like, you go compare their picture to an old one. It's like, man, they look different. I don't know. It's weird. So I still say there's so many of these people who aren't there. These are lookalikes or clones. There's somebody just there to play the part. They even had some gathering with Obama, Biden, and Clinton. yeah, something, because all these things they just keep doing are just absurd. Like now, it's no longer Easter, it's Transgender Day, and and then you know how who that's pissed off. So we got those people all worked up, and so, but all this stuff is to just bring. I swear to God, people don't realize how much what it is that is supposed to come to the surface is your biases. You're supposed to see how you view things, how you look at things, and question yourself. Why do I look at it that way? Why do I view things like that? Why do I generalize? Why do I stereotype? Like, there's what was the one? Because there was somebody. Oh yeah, because I was getting so much fucking bullshit on the firmament, where people kept telling me I was a Christian and I'm just believe Christian doctrine or some, I don't know, other bullshit. It was like, you obviously got biases. You can't even hear about a subject without automatically thinking, oh, it's that group. Oh, that group. It's that group over there. That stupid ass group. It's like, well, that is right there has blocked you from a whole set of information, because it's that guy's information. You obviously got problems with him. So see how it keeps you distracted from the information, keeps you from not being able to penetrate information because you've blocked yourself because you've got biases. I mean, it's absurd, all these people trying to tell me that there's no firmament. It has nothing to do with the goddamn fucking Bible. It has to do with what this place is. It has to do with, like, how the like toroidal feels, like how energy works. It's like it's how the energy is held so that it can be is like, there's so much stuff, because it is like this, it's like this energy pocket thing that is like a because we can like reflect here. We can experience ourselves, but it is like, it's an illusion. It's like if the lights went off, it would all be like a bunch of different lights in colors and energy. It would be like if all of a sudden the lights went off, you would see like just energy. Like everything is just energy. And but we see ourselves like how we see ourselves, and we see the planet how we see it and stuff. And there's something about like how it is set up for different ages, like the scenery and stuff. Like the scenery is going to be changing. Like I keep saying, the landscape and stuff is going to change because the new age is going to have like different scenery. So there'll be things that will be changing. And but that is a part of, like people get all like, oh no, there won't be a cataclysm. Oh no, there won't be this. No, there won't be that. There will be cataclysms and stuff. There's going to be, but they're just not going to affect us in the same way. But there's going to be places that will be gone. Like a lot of places will be gone. And, it's going to change the whole landscape of the planet. I totally believe that. And I just think, not because Edgar Casey or something says it. I believed it for a long time anyways, just because it was the naval map, which I completely believed that was from Looking Glass. And that when you just realize how much of our history is hidden, and it's not just hidden, by them not telling us, it's hidden underwater, it's hidden in the forest under the ground covering. It's hidden under buildings built on top of other buildings. Like there is all this hidden history that is all around us. But think about how it's like, it becomes like layered, like one world builds on top of another world. But because I kind of see it like this, like kind of like a, like a water filter system, how it has all these steps. Like if you made your own water filter system, it's got to go through the rocks, it's got to go through the sand, it's got to go through the charcoal, it's got to go through all these different things. So it's kind of like energetically that it goes through this process. It's kind of like a process of decay, kind of like a process of endings. And so it goes through different stages. And but that is where you got to see, like, our old world is going to go into that decaying, the debris, the old world. It's not like we're going to try and, I think that is like a lot of the old world will be taken away from us, because there probably would be a whole group of people that would just be like, well, let's just fix it. It's like, no, we're changing how we live. We're changing everything, so we got to be, it's like we want a clean canvas, I think. We want something to start and put it our own, make it our own. We don't want to just go down to the thrift store and get a used one that somebody's put a bunch of paint all over and made a big mess and stuff, and we're going to make the best of it. No, we want a brand new giant canvas that we can create the world that we want. And through our vision and through it's like our desires as creators. So, let me think, because there was something that I had wanted to talk about, but there was like a whole bunch of things, little things. There's one thing I wanted to talk about that I had something on my mind earlier, and I'm always talking to my guides and stuff. And I thought this was so interesting. So I was like, oh, I got to talk about this. This is so interesting. And it's something that I've said before, but it was like it made sense to me. And so, how I said that, like, our lessons all go together. Like, you are still in the pattern of lessons, like your grandma's lesson. Then it's like, it's this step down. It goes through all of these, all of us, it's like passing the, what is that thing called? Passing the bar? No, that's for the testing. Passing the baton. It's like we all go through like a relay in life, passing the baton to the next one and see what they can do with it. What can you do with your time? And in this process, we're healing much bigger things, not just our own things, but like this generational kind of movement of lessons that we have all kind of like signed up to be a part of. And so in that process, it's like we all work together. It's not just like one person's lessons or one person's mistakes or anything. It all goes in a link. Like and it's not supposed to just be. It's what is supposed to bring us all together, is this passing the baton. But everybody's always mad at everybody else because we're dysfunctional. We're just a dysfunctional society. And so we don't, people are throwing the baton, hitting it, hiding it. Like, it's like, no, people, we got to understand what we're doing here. But anyways, today I had this thing where it was, so how like there's so many people like don't want to talk to their parents, and there's like this part with kids. I went through the same thing. Is you just feel like you're broken, everything's wrong with you, and it's your parents' fault. If your parents would have just done this, if your parents would have just done that, you wouldn't have this problem, you wouldn't have that problem, you'd be practically perfect. And they just broke you because they're so broken, and they failed you because they did it on purpose, obviously. And so then we all feel like, it's our parents' fault. We would be so much better if they would have just been better parents. We could have just been so much better. And so what the vision that I got was, okay, so when we are birthed in, we come in with our problems. Like, it's weird how people like think that your parents created the problems. It's like you came in with the problems. And all you got to do to really understand that is think about how many things that you've dealt with in this life. And then think about like how quickly life ends, like the abruptness. Like, people can be driving to work, gone. People can be in the middle of building something, gone. People can be in the middle of childbirth, gone. Like, there's like these abrupt endings. And these are things that we go through. This isn't something that we just see somebody else go through. No, we go through these things in different lives. We go through these experiences and these abrupt endings, and they, that we carry them with us. They affect us. So any of these souls that are being birthed in come in already carrying their problems. They already come in as a fully loaded package. And when what I saw was that is the person who comes in, they're carrying all of these issues that they're trying to cleanse from their soul through all these different patterns, through these different lives and different experiences and stuff. So they're trying to constantly clear things, clear out old karma, clear out old, put things back in balance. Like we put things out of balance, we try and put things back in balance. It's just like this balance, counterbalance all the time. And so the people who, when they, so when they start blaming their parents, that their parents broke them and their parents did stuff wrong, it really is that the parents are doing things to bring those things up. So the parents are doing things right by bringing these things up to the surface so that the person can experience them, so that they can find what they are, so that they can release them. But see, so many people, they don't go through this process of understanding and seeing like, oh, I came into this world with all these issues. These people who are going to be called my parents here, they're going to push me in a way that's going to bring up a lot of old pain, a lot of old suffering, so that I can try and get to the depth of it and release it. Because I think in each lifetime, if you can get to that point, I mean, I think some of the times in different lifetimes and game experiences that people just get very like caught up in the game. They don't spend time like trying to do anything, heal anything, fix themselves. But I think that there's other souls though who do go through different lives and are focused more on spiritual. Like there's lots of like people who are like healers and stuff like that. They'll go through lots of lives being healers and shamans and gurus and stuff. Like it is like a journey that isn't just one lifetime. It's like going through a lot of different experiences to learn all these different perspectives and different ways of being and stuff. Is like it's far more all encompassing to create yourself into this higher version of self. Because even if you just go through this life and try and accept things from this life, like you have a lot of other lives, you have a lot of other things. So, I think it you have to have awareness of the other lives and try and figure out like what it is you're cleansing. And it seems to me that when you are your parents or your aunts or uncles, your grandparents, whoever it is that, I mean, it could be a teacher, it could be a nanny, it could be anybody, the people who trigger you or get you to feel, those ways when you're younger, that those are really like these offerings to try and, it's like they're trying to trigger you, but nobody knows, like nobody has their awareness of this. And so everybody just thinks everybody's just doing things and being mean to each other and stuff. But I think that the people who are in your life when you're a kid are there to bring those things to the surface, these deep-seated traumatic things that people carry, deep, fears and abandonment and rejection and loss and all that stuff. We come in with that stuff. The parents that we have here don't just give us all that. Is we have it already. And I think that each situation that we are birthed into is there to help us find that stuff inside of us. Because it's kind of like It's kind of like, because you have the veil, but there's like these little like memories, like not deja vu per se, but like kind of like that. Like there's little things inside of you to help you remember or trigger you to like I don't know how to explain it, but it's like you're never far from yourself. Like there's so many people who seem so far from themselves, but their self is right there. They just have turned their back on themselves. They're just not listening to themselves. And that's why, they're going to be humiliated when the awakening happens, because they don't realize that they've turned them back on themselves. And just like how many people just don't realize, like, that the people who are around you, who bring these things up, who make you feel insecure or rejected or abandoned and stuff, are there to help you bring up old wounds from past lives from a long time ago and stuff. I feel certain about that. Like if we were really approaching life in a different way, I've seen like whatever, our parents do, the things that come up are the things that we're here to heal from past lives. It's not, our parents didn't just create that in us. It was already in us. They just brought it to the surface. They brought it up so they could help us. It was like to help us see it. But it's like in this game, everybody's playing blindfolded. So nobody's all the wiser. We're all just like guessing, and everybody's mad at each other. And, I just feel like we can get so much more functional when it's the taking responsibility for ourselves, taking responsibility for our emotions. It's so much more empowering, even though so many people think that that's the other way. But that's like when things flip, then they'll see what empowerment is and what victim is, because that is a part of the awakening. And so many people just continue being in this victim mentality, but they don't realize it, because the parameters of how they look at things are skewed. So everything is in the upside down. Nothing makes sense. And so anyways, but we're in this shift of like, and it feels super intense. It feels like everything is shifting right now. I'm sure other people have got to be feeling this weird tenseness. It's so weird. And there was some weird stuff like earthquake in Oklahoma, earthquake in Ohio. There was a bunch of earthquakes over off of Oregon, so I don't even know what's going on over there. And that's where in that science magazine where they were watching, because there's like some air pocket holes or something that are shooting air out, and so there's a lot of movement. But the is the Cascadia fault line and the San Andreas fault line. Those ones. And there's some time traveler who's saying we're gonna. I mean, I think everybody is knowing that this big earthquake's coming, but this time traveler guy who's claiming to be a time traveler, he said that there is a big earthquake that's gonna happen, but he said after that this summer, he said Yellowstone volcano is gonna go. But, we got to keep on thinking, well, if people are coming from the past or time traveling, well, we don't all die, obviously. There is a group that keeps going. But I don't know, sometimes it seems like that these time traveler people are coming back from, weird timelines or something. Or weird realities. Like, I really, like people who are here, like right now, people think we're all have all been living in the same reality. The things have all been the same, but it hasn't been. There's been a whole bunch of different realities. There's lots of different realities that all have been happening. This is kind of like us all merging into a combined reality, where we're all being like, oh, we're all doing this. Oh, so we're all going to focus our energy and direct it into a creation. But before, we were all just all, scurrying around, living our lives, bumping into each other, and nobody was really, there wasn't really a productive activity. But it was productive in one sense because we were going through experiences and learning, because everything, that we go through is learning, and it's teaching the whole universe. It's like completing a thought. And so we're all the thoughts completing. We're all the thoughts playing out. And so there's great purpose and all the expansion, the thoughts, creating different experiences and different lives. And then let me think. It's like I felt like it was like a battle in my brain, like a whole bunch of things trying to get on the front. Okay, let me just think for a second. So the healing and the empowerment, and people just always looking at themselves as a victim, because I think even if there's people who are like, well, I'm not a victim, like, you get down to it and start talking to them about their mommy and daddy issues, then you're going to see that somewhere along the way they feel victimized. Somewhere along the way they felt like somebody screwed them over, something, and those are our challenges that we come in to go through. But like, I don't even look at, even having a dad who's a predator and stuff, I don't look at myself as being a victim. Man, this is hard to explain, because it's like you can see at times where you were victimized, that you went through things, but it isn't that you became that role. You didn't just become a victim. You in everything that you come in to be victimized is an experience of expansion. So it's an experience for parties to learn from. So it's not just to come in and be perved on or something. No, there's more to it. It's like, man, some of the stuff is hard to explain. So it's like, well, if this happens, then what does this happen? So if this happened, does it change this? Well, if you do this, what happens with this? So it's all of us going through these different experiences it's like to learn, to put things back in balance, to play roles, and to see what we do with the role. Like, to see how, like, it's like kind of like being successful, like to ourselves. It's not like the universe looks at any of us and is like, oh, well, you're a success, you're better than that guy. No, that's not how it is. But to ourselves, where it does feel like that there's the life review, that there's a lot of people who do not feel successful. They feel like they've failed themselves. And so to get to that point of feeling like you did yourself good, you were proud of yourself and stuff, I swear to God, it keeps people like on the hamster wheel of incarnating, because of that feeling of I didn't do it. I could have done it better. I should have done it better. It's like like with an actor in the, they start the scene and they'll play the scene out, and then the scene is over, call it to stop the scene, and then the actor's like, wait, I feel like I could do that better. And so I think that's what like the life review is like. I think we all get there and it's like, wait a minute, I swear to God I could do that better. That's how we feel. Like we are constantly in this evaluating ourselves, and it's weird. Is like in this like life, it's like people spend so much more time evaluating other people than evaluating themselves. Like, what could I do better? Like, if I would have done this, would that have gone better? I saw this guy explain something, and I was like, oh, see, this guy does the same thing as me. This is, I feel like he, I think he was saying like not a lot of people do this, but I see it as being so much more productive. But he said that anytime something goes wrong, like if something goes wrong with somebody, he always like takes the blame on himself. And he said taking the blame on himself, then it makes him to go in and think about things. It always helps him grow. So he's always growing because it makes him go in and self-reflect and look at things and look at how he could have improved and could have done this different. You learn more compassion. You look at it from their perspective. It gives you a broader perspective of self and stuff. It is like you are limiting yourself to always be thinking it's someone else's fault and to never go in and try and fix anything that you can fix. So I feel like that is why there is this sense of super immaturity with some of these people who just are, oh, poor me, and victim, victim, victim. It is because it does keep you immature, because it is you aren't facing yourself. You're not healing anything. You're just it's everybody else's fault. They did this, they did that, and never going in and looking and seeing like, where are your feelings raw, where you feel bad, what are because you're the receiver. You're the one who, where the information goes to is into you. You're the one who's processing it. So, where is this coming from? It's got to come from somewhere. And people just always think, well, it's that person. They said this and that made me feel bad. But why do you feel bad? The feeling bad is in there somewhere. So doesn't it make sense that that person is saying this so that you can find that feeling, so that you can pull it up out of the rafters and get in there and see what it is? That's probably something from lifetimes ago. And it could be that you had some interaction with this person, and then that's why this person is going to bring this gift back to you, but it playing a different role. And so it is kind of like, it's kind of like the way that we switch around. I don't know. I see it kind of like hot potato. Like we're just always changing and changing different roles. Like, and since it is kind of like just an illusion, it's kind of like, just going into your head and dreaming at night. It isn't like that we have to go far. It's not like any of this stuff is even real. Like even when you think about this place, like this electrical field that has different densities of vibration that creates, it's like a pocket of energy that we can all go into and experience ourselves. And it is in a density here that we have, it is like that we have the ability to, it's like the things are moving so slow, because like if you go faster in the higher vibration, things are moving so fast, and things are moving so slow that we can see them differently or something. Like it gives this idea of like that there's really a chair here, but really as soon as it would speed up the frequency, the chair would just like go out. It's just like, and the thing is too, is like the chair doesn't just have its own energy. Like it definitely doesn't have like conscious energy, but what it does do is it retains every energy that ever had anything to do with it, just like we do. Just like we're a product of everyone we've ever met. The chair is a product of everyone it has ever met. The person who made it, the person who, everything has this energetic source that creates it. and but it's not like it's conscious. But so when the vibration is going super fast, and then it is so if it's going slow, and this energy that is around it creates this illusion, and then if it start going faster and this went out, that energy would kind of disperse and go out into, I kind of see it like Ghostbusters or something, like all this energy going out or something. But like our energy, we are a different kind of energy, because we are like this conscious energy. Like we are an accumulation of experiences that we have put ourselves together into a context. And so we are a conscious energy. We are conscious of ourselves. We retain an identity of self. And so all these other things, see, like it's our energy is like my energy seeps into this chair. Like this energy, like somebody could come in here and sit down in this chair. Like this is trippy, because like somebody could come in, sit down in this chair, like say like a person who is able to go into like meditation and stuff, and could go in and absorb like the energy, like me sitting here all the time and talking. Like you could go, a person could go and sit in here and go into a meditation and be able to pull me up into, be able to see and feel the energy that I was putting out. Like there is like a whole thing, but we don't do stuff like that. And that is kind of even like the remnants of like ghosts and stuff, like what we think of as like ghosts and apparitions and stuff. It's like this remnants. Yeah, it's like there's just constantly this leftover energy from these different lives and these different experiences. But see, we are this conscious energy. We are like souls. We're like the cells. Like we have that. We're a different kind of thing. And so if the vibration starts changing, that we change with it. But you change with it up to your where you vibrate. Like if the energy start vibrating higher and higher and higher, but you can't just ride that energy. You have to have that energy inside of you. So you have to be of the same frequency in order to raise. The frequency doesn't raise you. You can raise to the frequency. So if it started going faster, you would just be only be able to go just like the firmament. That's what it is. It is holds in a frequency. It's like a containment. And so you are held by yourself. It's you who is held back. But I think that we all think like people are like lower vibration than they are. And I think it's just a part of the game. I think people are way higher vibration. I think, we come from the heavens. Like we all come from the heavens. We all are, advanced souls. We all are carrying a lot of stuff that we're here to cleanse. So that there is, but the whole thing is that all these people who you think of are low vibration, they really are, have forgotten. They really have forgotten who they are. They really have a disconnect in the Wi-Fi. And that is where it's going to, that's the awakening part. That is, the whole awakening is about you connecting to yourself and healing all these old wounds, healing all of these old patterns and stuff that you carry from all these different lives. And it's the reconnecting to your soul is the awakening. And all these people think it's awakening is waking up to, well, they're putting poison in our food. Oh, they're putting poison in our air. And they're killing us over there. They're killing us over there. They're governing us, like all of that stuff. People think that is to see the corruption means you're awake. Well, I'm awake. I know the government's corrupt. Well, I know that you can't trust the medical. Well, I know you can't trust the food industry. I know you can't trust the media. I'm wide awake. It's like, yeah, but are you scared? Do you, are you angry? Are you divisive? Are you judgmental? Do you recognize your own biases? Are you living your best life? Are you, you know, like there's just so many games and so many patterns that people play. Like you can just keep going and going and going. But that's the things where you got to ask yourself to recognize, because if you have those things, then yeah, you're not awake. When you wake up and you connect to your soul, which is a process, it's not just like this overnight thing. And it's a process to reconnect. It's mind, body, spirit. It's starting to take care of yourself, changing your lifestyle, facing the parts of you that were attached in this fucking reality. Just when I saw the compilation thing of Justin Bieber and these old ladies fucking uh, grabbing him. He looks like a little fucking kid, and they're grabbing him, grabbing his butt, kissing him and stuff. And he keeps saying stuff like, you guys are making me uncomfortable, stop it. And they just, oh no, like he's just a sex symbol, or like they can just do whatever they want. It's like, this is a child. Oh my God. And I saw a guy who was very disturbed by this video. And he was talking about like, man, there's a lot of people like in the crowds and stuff. People are laughing and clapping while he's getting assaulted. It's like there is some sickness in our society. And this is what I keep saying. This is the part that people have to heal. The sick part of our society that they played a part in. The part where they were passive. The part where, you know, that they just ignored what was going on. And so that's the part where you got to learn to see why do I accept that? Why would I ignore that? And it's not because you should have done it or you should have done it something. No, it's because it's from some other past life. This situation was going to bring this other stuff up. So don't get all caught up in too much of the other thing. That's one thing too. The fabric is way bigger. It's like a fucking quilt, and it's got all these different squares, and you just keep focusing on one square. You got a whole fucking quilt out here. So you got a lot of shit. You don't have just one set of bad parents. You've had a zillion sets of bad parents. So don't just sit there and go like, oh, this is my worst parents ever. No, we've all been shitty parents. We've all had shitty parents. That's a part of the experience. It's a part of the expansion of the universe. It's a part of how the universe learns what's good and what's bad. How's it work? And we all go in, okay, we can do this. We're going to try this out. We're showing and growing. And I think that is what it isn't like when you think of it as like a video game, think of it as like that is what this is set up like. But it is an actual, it's an actual way of being productive. It's like a productive expansion of the universe. It isn't just like, oh, well, we're just playing. But there is also a sense of playing, because it's not serious. Like there's nothing as serious as what we make it. And so it's just like, there's so much to just kind of wake up to. And that's like, it's a process, because things aren't as serious as you think. Things are a lot more gentle. There's not a God who hates you, who's waiting for you to be sent to hell. Like there's just, things are a lot more low key. Life is way more like an island boy, it's way more just like kick back and enjoy the ride. Don't be so caught up. Don't be so angry at everybody. The people who make you angry are there to make you angry, but you got to find out what is the thing that is inside of you that gets angry, because that's what they're trying to poke you so you can find it. So it's not lost in there. So that is when you start really looking at the people, as I thought when they showed me that, I was like, man, that could be a powerful move, for people to really start seeing, like, oh, especially when you get back to like your parents, like, because so many people feel like their parents have just done them so dirty. And there's such a big movement of that, like right now in our society, But really, when we get down to our spirit, when we get really into our spiritual side, it just gives so much more answers. It gives so much more broader perspective to really make it like this weenie piddly bullshit where we get all like, oh, well, this little thing and you did this and you did that. Like, we got to get way more just like, I don't know how to explain it. I can see it. It's just way more of just like kick back and open and available and seeing and not so desperate, not so sad and not so self-loathing, but a lot more just like, a better attitude. It's just like, we can have a better attitude. And I don't know how to, like this was like new to me. Like I would have to really go in and start trying to get into like, fuck, I don't even know how some of this stuff. Like, I think that would be a lot more productive for people who are more in this, like to try and look back 50 years and be like, so what could I learn when they did that? Like, that's way too hard. But like, if you were a child now and your parent, like a young person, and your parents doing something, instead of being like, oh, see, they're such a dick, I can't stand them, they're always doing that, they always make me mad, they're such failures. And then instead to be able to be like, okay, so this is bringing up what? This is bringing up, I don't know, it could be rejection. You got to go in deeper to you. You got to keep going in to yourself to find what is the crux of what your emotion, where's it coming from? Because nobody's giving you that emotion. The emotion's in there. They're helping you. They're helping you find it. They're helping you bring it to the surface. So anyways, that was just another way to start reevaluating all the different relationships, because I think all of our relationships, we got to start reevaluating. There's just such an adaptation to such a dysfunction in our society, and everybody's just so willing. It's like no wonder, like we've got such problems with abuse and all these things, like the things that we came here to experience and learn from and grow in this period of time is a lot of heavy stuff, a lot of really heavy stuff. And I bet you one of the reasons why is because of how many, because of all the souls that are here right now who are here to release all of this different stuff. So yeah, you're going to go through heavy stuff because that is what is going to help you bring out, your anger and your pain and your resentment and stuff. Is going to help it come up so that you're not just packing it down and hiding it away and storing it for just the right moment. So it's, because you can really release this stuff. You can really face old stuff, release it, and then it's just like, that doesn't bother me. I feel fine. That doesn't bother me. And then the more you can get into understanding yourself as this eternal spiritual being, this light, this energy, this energetic source, this conscious energy, the more you can really get yourself into that and knowing, how really big and vast and you're so much more than this limitation that you focus on. Like nobody would be sitting here being like, oh, I'm just gonna, like people's idea of success in this world is like a step down from what you are. Like you are success. You are everything that you want to be. Everything that you're trying to accomplish, you are those things. You just forgot. You're just not seeing that in yourself. Just like you have to start to see it in yourself to recognize it. But it's like, I don't know, as people get like distracted thinking everybody else is better than them and get distracted with a lot of different things. But the more that you can get into realizing the significance of you, then yeah, you're not going to, like, you wouldn't care like, oh, I'm poor. This is what it's like to be poor. Oh man, what is it? What kind of things do you learn when you don't have money just to go spend all the time? Like, you learn how to fix things, you learn how to make things, you learn how, like, there's a lot of stuff. And so really getting into the role, rather than, like, how many people we have sitting around who are poor, just sit there whining and crying and staring up at the guy with all the money and going like, God, he's got it all. And but we're about to see a lot of people with a lot of money who are going to be exposed for a lot of stuff, and that's going to give a lot of different, it's going to this is like the things that are changing are people's like priorities and stuff. So those kinds of things are what's going to get brought up when people see this stuff play out. People are just going to be like, have different attitudes. Plus there's going to be this whole thing with abundance. So everything that is your birthright will be given to you. There's nothing that you're going to need to struggle for. So those parts of life will not be a struggle anymore. So it's not going to be anything that you have to worry about, like, how am I going to get my next meal? There's going to be an abundance of stuff. So everybody will have a sense of having enough, I think. But I mean, we're going to go through a process to get there, I think. I don't know how it's going to be like overnight. And I have seen, what was this one? It was Ireland now is putting out a thing. If you've got Irish heritage in your blood, you got dual citizenship, there's a whole thing. And see, there's going to be more of this stuff too. But I don't remember all the stuff they were saying. And then there was another, let's see, there's something with the money thing. Stellar, they were a whole commercial about this new way of money. And if you want to give money and donate, you got to go through Stellar, explain it, just like, because this is going to be like the QFS thing, the quantum money system is going to be, it's some kind of Stellar blockchain system. It's the whole thing. But I saw advertisement on that. So that's coming. And then these citizenships, like, because they can never be able to fucking tell us you have to live there, you have to be there, you have to pay your tax, like all this bullshit. It's all been bullshit. So, and what was it? It seemed like there was another one too. But I just keep seeing signs and signs and signs of where we're headed. Like, I see signs all around. I feel certain. And be other people who, they're certain that it's the end of the world and certain Jesus is coming and all their different things. I saw, there's just one girl today, and she's one of those who gets out the Bible, is reading it, and then praying, and then get out the tarot cards and read those. Like, she's all over the place. But I swear to God, she has been live like 6 or 8 hours today. I bet you there's like a lot of them. Just go live, and there's just like, all day long, man. Yeah. Anyways, let me think if there was something else. Just everything that everything you're going through, just keep trying to look at things deeper and from other perspectives. Everything is like this, turning the tables, turning and looking at it from the other way. And that is the thing, is people have been so stuck on how they look at things and have all accepted this certain view of things. But then all of a sudden, a whole new energy is going to come in. And it's going to be like a whole reevaluation. Like, oh my gosh, now you got to look at things way different. And people are so resistant. They're so resistant to change. And so it's going to be like very traumatic as it goes. And it seems like it's so close. Like, I don't know what else is going to go down. Like, there's people talking about, like, there's this whole thing with the royals, like, and this all goes together. So, I don't know. I mean, we're definitely in the time where everything's about to switch. Everything's about to change. So, it's exciting, but it's also, intense, scary. It's, so you just gotta, and when you get those feelings of being overwhelmed, being sad, being scary, that's when you gotta go in and connect to yourself, to your soul, because your soul will remind you, you got nothing to worry about. Don't worry about it. You're there to have fun. Go out and experience. Like, don't stress out. And so, that is you becoming more comfortable, being able to experience more things and not being so like, oh my God, something's going to happen to me. Something's going to happen to me. What, you know, how can you live an experience if you are living it all the time, holding yourself back from the experience? So anyways, it's all about just this reevaluating, looking at things different, understanding things with more purpose of a spiritual existence instead of, thinking that you are just this accident, weird, I don't even know. It's so jacked up here. I don't even know what people think anymore. I think everybody's stuff is changing. It used to be for so long, everybody just thought that that was like, we were some kind of amoeba who was out here floating around in space. Like, so anyways, but no, we are souls. We are advanced, and we come into situations to challenge ourselves, to grow. And this experience has been a challenge, but I think that the challenge is going to have great benefit. You got to just keep chugging away and don't give up. You got to keep just going towards you, towards what makes you happy, what makes you feel satisfied, spending more time with yourself so you can understand yourself more. Like, there's just a lot of things, It's just learning how to value yourself, learning how to love yourself, learning how to appreciate yourself. So those are like your things that if you feel confused, like, well, I don't know how to do any of this, I don't know what to do, just keep going back to self. Like, ask yourself the questions. Well, why am I doing this? What do I really want to do? Where do I want to do it? How do I want to do it? Why am I doing it this way? Just constantly keep asking yourself and asking yourself. And, you'll find yourself somewhere in there. And this is, the universe is giving, like, the stage is set. So don't get overwhelmed and feel like, that you're messing up or anything. Just keep going. In any of the darkness that you have to face, that's what you're supposed to be doing. Don't feel like, oh, well, I thought I was all healed and now I've got to face this dark stuff. I'm not doing it right. No. You're going to keep having things. And then even after you have things come up to heal, you'll be tested. You'll have somebody come in and will push you. And don't forget, there's a big part of the learning and growing is being able to set boundaries, being able to be confident and sure of yourself and say, no, I don't like that. No, I won't go there. No, that's not going to work for me. And that takes a lot of practice. And you will, there's a lot of challenges. So there's just there's a lot of work to do. But it's not, don't look at it as like it's work. Like I have to get out my book and figure out, well, how am I going to fix myself today? No. It's just be more mindful, take more time, tune into your emotions, recognize how you feel, don't blame others, go more and try and understand yourself. And while you're trying to understand yourself, you got to remember to love yourself, to love everyone, and have a loving day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.